Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. After 4 days of intense lobbying and hectic negotiations, finally, it's official that Siddaramaiah will be the Chief Minister of Karnataka and D.K. Shivakumar will be the Deputy Chief Minister. The stalemate actually was broken at the intervention of Sonia Gandhi. And after this decision was taken, D.K. Shivakumar's brother, D.K. Suresh, in an interaction with the media, said that this offer is not a very happy proposition for his family. And D.K. Shivakumar has accepted the offer in the welfare of Karnataka, in the welfare of the party. That brings us to two important questions. That has Congress High Command really doused the Karnataka flame in the real sense? And will the regional satraps in the other states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh will not flex their muscles and will become the next challenge for the grand old party? I'm joined by a few special people today joining us on the discussion. We have with us Pushpraj Pandey, who is the director of the Samrid Bharat Foundation, and he's also the editor of the Penguins Rethinking India series. He's also a Congress supporter. Thank you so much, Pushpraj, for joining. Joining me is Puneet Nicholas Yadav, who's the senior editor with the Federal. Thank you, Puneet, for joining. We have Aurangzeb Naqshbandi, senior journalist, with us on the panel. And Mr. Satya Sahu is also joining us. He's a senior political commentator and has been the press advisor to former President K.R. Narayanan. Let me begin with Puneet. Puneet, you've had a late night. I suppose you must have filed a copy very late. But what I want to ask you at the outset is that has the Congress High Command been able to douse the Karnataka flame in the real sense?
Well, Nilu, I think that would depend largely on how things proceed from here on. At the moment, you've at least crossed one hurdle, one obstacle of naming the chief minister and the deputy chief minister. So I think that for now was the big challenge for the party. Not so much because for, who between the two. Of course, both of them equally strong contenders, as the party has also said today. But the point was, both of them come with a certain amount of, let's say, a baggage that they bring to the party in terms of the pros and cons of appointing one or the other as the chief minister. And there's only one chief minister that you can have. You may have very strong and a battery of very strong leaders, but then ultimately only one chief minister. So they've managed to do that. I think the party high command was a bit stunned by how unyielding Mr. Shivakumar was being at one juncture. And that was something that did surprise many in the party, that he's known to be a loyalist of the party, he's repeatedly said that he made statements to the effect of the party is the mother and we follow whatever the party says, etc. But then he took a very unyielding stance, as we know from our sources, and that kind of stumped the party a little. But I don't think it was ever in doubt that Mr. Siddaramaiah was the clear favorite. Now, from here on, how things proceed is a different matter altogether. Let's not forget that, yes, while these two leaders who will now be the CM and the deputy CM are very strong leaders, very popular leaders in their own way, and both equally important to the success of the Karnataka government, there is also a battery of other leaders in the Congress in Karnataka who are also political heavyweights in their own right. And, after having a very difficult period of the past 2-3 days of balancing Mr. Shivakumar's aspirations vis-a-vis Mr. Siddaramaiah's aspirations, we don't know the full extent of the offer that's been made to Mr. Shivakumar to mollify him. We don't know what kind of cabinet portfolios he ultimately gets. But one thing is for sure that, if the offer is a sort of an omnibus offer where he gets to choose, any number of portfolios that he wants to keep with himself, or that he allocates to his loyalists, that in itself will create a complication, because there are other equally powerful ministers, leaders, MLAs, Mr. Parmeshwara, who's been a deputy chief minister, who's a Dalit leader, Mr. M.D. Patil, who's a Lingayat leader, an MLA of several terms, Mr. U.T. Khadar, who's a Muslim face of the party, again, a very important leader, very senior leader. So if you have that kind of an omnibus choice given to Mr. Shiv Kumar, what do you give to these other leaders? Because they'll also demand their pound of flesh from the party, and rightly so. So, I mean, this is the first hurdle that they've crossed with naming the CM and the deputy CM. How it proceeds further now will require a lot more effort on part of the party to and the leadership, plus also now with the CM and the deputy CM, because now they've got their hat in the ring, to be accommodating to the aspirations of the others, and not being very self-centered, for the lack of a better word, on what they expect in terms of their own portfolios vis-a-vis what they want to offer to the others in the party.
Right. Okay. So you said that the first hurdle has been crossed. Now let me come to Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, if the first hurdle has been crossed, but what if the Karnataka boat, it looks like a situation where the boat starts rocking? Maybe after 2024, maybe DK Shiv Kumar will not do anything to rock the boat till at least 2024 is over. But what after that? Do you see challenges now coming up as far as Karnataka politics is concerned between DK Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah?
No, I think DK Shiv Kumar needs to wait, because his time will come. As of now, the High Command had no other option but to make Siddaramaiah the chief minister. If you remember, in 2018, it was Siddaramaiah who brought down the JDS Congress government in Karnataka, because he was rendered, without any work. And he also didn't want, right from the beginning, he was opposed to any alliance with the JDS. So, and he was saying, if you let JDS grow in Karnataka, it will be at the cost of Congress.
Right.
So he did not allow JDS to continue there, and he would not have allowed DK Shiv Kumar to remain the chief minister for long. So the High Command had no option. And second thing is, when you talk about High Command, see, when High Command is weak, so you see all this happening. You saw what happened with Ashok Gehlot when he was asked by Sonia Gandhi to take over as the Congress president, and the drama that unfolded, just before the CLP meeting in Jaipur. So when the High Command is weak, it happens. Now, if you take BJP, the High Command is very strong there. They impose anyone, and in states we have seen, who knew Pushkar Dam, who knew Manohar Lal Khattar, Raghubar Das, Pramod Sawant. There are so many examples. Just because the High Command is very powerful, there are no voices against that. There is no dissent as compared to Congress. And Congress, at least there, the leadership they are willing to accommodate different views. So when you talk about 2024, that is the challenge for both Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar. You have 28 seats from the state, and they are very crucial for the Congress if Congress wants to reach 100 mark. So the challenge for both of them will be to ensure maximum number of seats from the state, and also that the promises that were made, whether in the form of manifesto or otherwise, have to be fulfilled. And this is what, according to many, the Karnataka leaders, that both of them have been categorically asked to work together and ensure that the promises are fulfilled. Now, that is also a big challenge, because, they have promised more in terms of financial, and the finances are very bad in Karnataka. If you ask any financial expert there, they will say that the state finances are bad. So those are also very big challenges. Keeping the party together is also a big challenge now. Shiv Kumar, if he manages to wait out, and his term will definitely come, And post 2024, who knows? And if he manage, see the problem with the Sachin Pilot. If I compare Sachin Pilot with DK Shivkumar, Sachin Pilot did not, he did not manage the legislators who were loyal to Ashok Gehlot. And if Shivkumar is able to do that, tomorrow, what if the legislators loyal to Sidharmaya say, no, we don't want him, Shivkumar is a better option. Right. So for that, you have to reach out to those also. So that is what, if Shivkumar manages good number of seats for the party in the Lok Sabha, the leadership will be inclined to make him the next chief. So till 2024, I don't see anything happening. Yes, post 2024, there will be changes.
Right. One thing which I wanted to clarify from Puneet also before I go to Pushpraj. Puneet, I was reading a source-based story somewhere where it said that the initial offer which was made was that Sidharamaiah becomes the chief minister for 2 years, and then the next 3 years would go to DK Shivkumar as the chief minister, and he probably rejected that offer. So whatever offer has been made acceptable and whatever formula has been worked around as far as the power sharing pact is concerned, what are you hearing from your sources? Are we going to see DK Shivkumar probably as the chief minister post 2024? Is there any kind of a final word coming in from the party sources on that?
Nilu, well, as far as 1 year, see, there were various offers that were made to Mr. DK Shivkumar during that period of, yesterday and day before yesterday, when the party was working on him, trying to get him on board. Because at one point, as our sources tell us, he had even refused to join the government if he was not made chief minister.
Yes.
Now, so a whole lot of combination of offers were made to him. Now, ultimately, and yes, rotational chief ministership was one of the offers, which he was not very open to, possibly because he's seen how this offer has played out in Chhattisgarh and in Rajasthan, much to the delight of the BJP and as a headache for the Congress, both at the center and in the state. So he was not very kicked about this, also because, while like Aurangzeb just said, that, when the center of the party is weak, you may make any kind of an assurance, but to come true on that assurance becomes a different deal altogether. So, Mr. T.S. Singh Dev, for instance, may have been promised 2.5 years, by Mr. Rahul Gandhi when he was the Congress president in 2018. But that never happened. Similarly, Mr. Sachin Pilot may have been promised. These are, promises that are made behind closed doors, if at all they are made. But then they've not really, panned out the way, these aspirants would have hoped for. So even if Mr. Shivkumar has been made a promise of rotational chief ministership, one, I don't think it's going to be a very easy thing for the party to implement, because it would largely be at the mercy of Mr. Sidharamaiah. They'll have to wait for him to willingly vacate. And knowing Mr. Sidharamaiah's style of politics, it's rather, a stretch to imagine that he would just, say that, okay, fine, I'm retiring now.
Okay. Now let me come to Pushpraj. Pushpraj, you're closely watching, and in fact, everybody is watching as to what is really happening. What we know officially is that, yes, at Sonia Gandhi's intervention, DK Shivkumar reluctantly has accepted whatever power sharing pact has been offered to him. But my question to you is that in this process of the last 3-4 days, don't you feel somewhere that, again, that perception that the high command somewhere is weak? Either Mallikarjun Kharge has not been able to act tough, either the Gandhi family has not been able to act tough. I mean, the message which goes out is that, the inner core of the party somewhere has been weakened, as what Puneet just mentioned. Do you think that this perception also existed earlier? And but so was this not the time that High Command could have corrected this perception, taken some tough calls, sent out a message that, look, there is a command center which exists in the party? Yes, Pushpraj.
Hi, Nilu. Hi, everyone. Nice to make your acquaintance. Um, so, I actually don't see this in a more. I mean, your question is basically very limited to the short term. I personally don't feel what Aurangzeb was saying. Having aspirations is actually legitimate, and it's a sign that the party organization is quite vibrant. So if you have, as in any state, if you have three, four aspirants for leadership roles, both in government and outside government, that is actually a sign of a healthy party organization. Now, naturally, there are going to be pressures and pulls. Parties are going to have to negotiate between each other. Now, that negotiation actually, we have to understand that that negotiation is actually going to make any outcome far more sustainable than if one person is calling the shot at the state level. That's one thing. So I personally feel the entire concept of consensually governing a state is far more sustainable, is better for the for governance and for various other reasons, political primarily. But to answer the second part of your question, which is with regard to political management, the high command thing. See, there are multiple levels here. One is that we're all assuming that leaders, when they're negotiating with each other, are not aware of their strengths and weaknesses. I think all state leaders are acutely aware of their strengths and weaknesses, and there are times when they are aggressive about their expectations. Some of them they scale back, as this has happened right now. DK Shivakumarji has legitimately scaled back his expectation. So there is that one level of checks that leaders themselves impose on each other. That's one thing. Then comes the general secretary. There's a process. The general secretary is the first rung who is supposed to manage this political expectation. At least that in the Congress party, that's the case. And then comes the Congress president. The Congress president is literally the last stop, and this entire process has followed its. I mean, the process has followed for after a very long time. I see that it has followed as per the party constitution dictates. So I don't think that the high command has not intervened. The entire manner in which this decision was arrived at in a record time, 4 days, when you compare it to the way BJP, has elected to choose, appointed, they're not even appointed, they're anointed by the high command, disregarding various factional interests, disregarding caste combination. This is a very opaque, uh, untransparent process that other parties follow. In this sense, they've had the general secretary is batted from the front, the high command. The Congress president has then intervened to consult with other presidents, former presidents, to do what is best for the party, and that's what has happened.
Pushpraj, allow me to interrupt you. You may say that this is a democratic structure of the party which allows you to do things at different levels, whether it is the general secretaries, whether it's the party president, but the manner in which it was executed in the last 3-4 days, with source-based stories being leaked out to the media, bad optics playing out, some sort of a mismanagement, that was the perception which was given out. Do you think that the party doesn't need to improve on this, or it will continue like this?
What the party does, how it leaked, I mean, I really can't. If there are unauthorized leaks, I mean, that's unauthorized leaks. I mean, what can I comment, or what can the party comment on them? But frankly speaking, this is an internal party matter. They need to do it behind closed doors. It's not a panchayat decision, right? That they're not going to involve the entire country into this decision. Ultimately, is the CLP, the legislative body, is the one which decides who the CM is. They have authorized the Congress president. He is deciding to do it in an inclusive, consensual manner. So let them do it the way they are supposed to do it. 4 days they've taken. I mean, you have to understand that there was also a lot of manufactured outrage and puzzlement, which was geared to destabilize a government before it even is sworn in. I mean, there was no reason for any. I don't see this kind of interest before Gujarat or before Uttarakhand or any other state which
You're saying
Puneet
that
was
this outrage
mentioning.
was manufactured at the behest of whom? If you're saying that this was a manufactured outrage,
The media organizations that were running it would be best placed to say that. I don't know who's paying them and who's asking them, prodding them to do it. But this was manufactured. They've not shown the same kind of interest with other parties and other governments. So why the unnecessary fuss? Hoga, you'll get to know. And I mean, within 4 days, you got to know.
right? Okay, now let me come to Mr. Satya Sahu, and then I'll come to Tabina, and then, of course, Pushparaj, I'm going to come back to you again. Mr. Satya Sahu, now what do you think is the biggest challenge for Congress? As Puneet and Aurangzeb said that, yes, the first hurdle has been crossed, but yes, to keep the party intact, to keep the organization intact in Karnataka, if you've got to win the maximum seats in 2024, and of course, at the same time, managing other problem states of Congress, like Rajasthan, where you see Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot. Chhattisgarh, you see Bhupesh Singh Baghel versus T.S. Singh Deo. Then you have Madhya Pradesh, where Kamal Nath versus Digvijay Singh. So all these, internal differences which are brewing up in various other states, do you think that High Command will really have to speed up its processes, the manner in which it is tackling all these differences? What do you think is the biggest challenge right now for Congress, as far as these states are concerned? Yes. You'll have to unmute, sir. Yes.
Yeah, now can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to participate in this discussion. You see, this kind of problems confronted by Congress is nothing unusual. For that matter, for any party. I mean, look at the history of any party, be it Congress or be it BJP or any other party. I mean, look at the moderates and extremists within the Congress in its history during freedom struggle. Look at the examples of, the stand taken by different leaders when Subhash Chandra Bose was elected as the Congress president. Okay, so I remember there was a article which I was reading. The differences between moderates and extremists at that time. I believe in one meeting, extremists even threw the chair. That was way, much before the independence of India. Okay, so therefore, I think this is quite normal, usual, and this is nothing exceptional. And rather, actually, this is the track of democracy, be it within the party or outside. It has to traverse through such differences of opinion, such factional fights, and of course, the search, quest for power, quest for office. So I do not think it is unusual. There is a challenge to the High Command or anything. Rather, now High Command is relatively strong after the emphatic win in Congress. Okay, and the Bharat Jod Yatra has caused a huge kind of support and sympathy for the party, for Rahul Gandhi, and I think they are better placed now to settle such differences. So they coming to this particular point, I think it is quite normal process through which the political leaders, at the high command level or at the state level, they have now come to a decision that so and so Siddaramaiah will be the chief minister, and Mr. Shiv Kumar will be the deputy chief minister, and so on.
No, but Mr. Sahu specifically talking about Rajasthan.
I'm coming to that. Immediately, okay. I was coming to that. So see, during Indira Gandhi's time, she was very strongly placed because of the kind of strength the Congress enjoyed in terms of the formation of the governments in large parts of the country, and the kind of command which she actually had because of the support base which she had across the country. So therefore, she was on many occasions she was actually selecting weak leaders who would be towing the line of the high command. See, now at this juncture, when the Congress has revived, because if you describe it as a revival after Bharat Jod Yatra and after the emphatic win, with 43% votes share. So, at this juncture, I believe that the Congress the leadership of the Congress has to adopt the path of dialogue, discussion, reconciliation.
Okay.
To harmonize. So the problem, for instance, in Rajasthan, I think, the Mr. Pilot has to understand the pulse of the people, the nation's mood after the Congress victory in Karnataka. So accordingly strategize. See, there were reports, and there were quite authentic reports, that Gehlot government did not fall when for the first times, pilot rebelled. It's because of Basundhara Raje's India. And recently, Mr. Gehlot said that, BJP say, if you have taken money from BJP and if you spend that money, you tell us, we'll pay you that money from our funds and you return that money. So therefore, there was an unseen hand, which was revealed, in a discussion by somebody, that it was Basundhara Raje's India who should be given the credit for saving this regime, the Gehlot regime. So if this is the situation, then Mr. Scindia must, Mr. Pilot must understand, to what extent he has got the support base. And recently, he addressed a meeting or a rally. A lot of people turned up, but he had just 15 MLAs with him. Or if you stretch it further, suppose some MLAs couldn't join, maybe 25, 20. Okay, so with that support, what can you do? So therefore, now the High Command is, I think, much better placed after the emphatic win, solid win, to deal with these issues, through a democratic process, through dialogue, reconciliation, adjustment, and so on and so forth. And similarly in Madhya Pradesh, I think Madhya Pradesh is not much of a problem as of now, because still there are a few months to go for the elections to be conducted. And Kamal Nath, I believe, is in command, and I believe they have both, Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh, they have a good deal of understanding among themselves. Okay, and similarly in Chhattisgarh, from the ground level, one gets the report that Congress is quite well placed. Okay, because I believe people like Raman Singh from BJP, etc., they are not in that strong position. Rather, they have been greatly marginalized. So therefore, with the kind of remarkable synchronization of Rahul Gandhi with the people, the kind of massive participation Bharat Jod Yatra witnessed. See, in Karnataka, those constituencies where constituencies covered by Bharat Jod Yatra, I think 15, 16 of them out of 21, Congress won. So similarly in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, Bharat Jod Yatra got massive response. So when things are looking up for the Congress, I do not think that the Congress leadership would have much of a problem in dealing with normal developments. I would call normal developments.
Okay, so you see this as a normal development, but I have one more question for Pushparaj, and then I'll go to Tabina. Pushparaj, in context to what is happening in Rajasthan, the manner in which we saw Mallikarjun Kharge calling Siddaramaiah, calling DK Shivkumar, and have a heart-to-heart talk with them. Then finally, both of them go to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Are we going to see something similar happening in Rajasthan as well? Because so far, we haven't seen much of dialogue and deliberation as far as Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot are concerned. Sometimes we see stories of Sachin Pilot going and meeting Rahul Gandhi in solo. Then Ashok Gehlot has some closed-door talk. But this kind of a media display of this kind of a deliberation happening so far has not much happened in context with Rajasthan. So are we going to see that happen in the days to come?
I mean, frankly, that's up to the party secretaries and the general secretaries to figure out. And this entire thing about going to the Congress president, I mean, think of it as a school. If the student needs to be disciplined or needs to have a conversation, you're not going, the class teacher intervenes first, then you go to the supervisor, then you go to the principal, right? You don't go directly go to the principal. So the point is that, these guys, I think the the general secretaries and the secretaries are very politically savvy. They're smart. They will have to figure this out. How they do that is our prerogative. We can speculate on what we want and how they should ideally do it. But these guys are smart people. They don't need to, these guys are going to do it. They know how to forge consensus. I mean, if the party is genuinely interested, as I think it should be, in winning Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh, and Telangana, we're forgetting Telangana, it goes at the same time. They'll do this quickly, they'll do this smartly, and they'll do it efficiently. So I personally feel, again, whether in the realm of speculation, I personally feel that the party will get its act together because, as Sahuji said, the the Congress president is considerably strengthened after this victory.
Yes.
So that political capital they are naturally going to leverage to resolve these issues. And see, I mean, the context of this question, I really want to question that premise. Everyone, Sachin Pilot, T.S. Singh, Deo, Digvijay sir, anyone else, all of these people, they're political entrepreneurs. I mean, they're bound to want to win the state. Whoever is able to set the narrative better is able to get more MLAs elected, is able to manage defections better, naturally has a claim, a legitimate claim on leadership roles. So that is legitimate. The issue here is political management. I mean, we all know that they're going to be better placed. And keep in mind one thing that you've really not spoken about, which you may want to flag, especially when you have such an august guest of august panel, is that the BJP has structurally crippled its organization because of its high command culture. So in Chhattisgarh and in Rajasthan, actually even in Madhya Pradesh, I think this will play out. They have really, shot themselves in the foot. And this is going to be advantage Congress all the way now.
Okay. Okay, Tabina, you are in Jaipur, and I really want to know as to what's really happening on Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot's front. Now that a spectacular victory from Karnataka has, come way for Congress, what is really happening in Rajasthan? We are also hearing reports that Rajesh Pilot's death anniversary apparently, now these could be rumors that Sachin Pilot might quit Congress. Do you see a possibility of that happening? What are your sources telling you?
Hi, Neelu. How are you? And thank you, everyone. I mean, they were very insightful observations by everybody, and I could relate to most of them. So it's kind of a deja vu for all of us who have been following Karnataka and Rajasthan and have been covering, for the last 4 or 5 years. But I saw in the morning the picture where Kharge is bringing two leaders together, Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar. So a ring bell in my mind. And I mean, it was kind of a similar picture we saw in 2018, United Colors of Rajasthan, where we saw Rahul Gandhi bringing Gehlot and Pilot together. But later, 6 months later, a few months later, we started realizing that it was nothing but just a photo op. So yeah, winning is important, but what's more important is, high command actually, stepping in and resolving the issues. Because back in 2018 also, Congress formed government in 5 states, in Karnataka, where it was in coalition, and then, it won 3 important Hindi heartlands later in December in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh and Telangana. But unfortunately, what we saw in just couple of years, BJP toppled the governments in Karnataka and in Madhya Pradesh. And there is a consistent insecurity and consistent insecurity in fighting in Congress in Rajasthan. And we all have been witnessing it since, 2020 when the political crisis came in public. So I think, there are lack of efforts from the central leadership. Couple of committees were formed back then also in 2020. There was a 3-member committee headed by late Ahmed Patel, K.C. Venugopal and others. And the report, it was about they were supposed to sit down and, bring the two factions together, but, the report has not been submitted till yet. It's been already, 3 years. And again, there was a committee formed in 2022, September 25. After that incident took place, when MLAs in Rajasthan gave CLP meeting a skip, and they kind of supported Ashok Gehlot, and again, it was regarded as a misconduct, but anything, anything substantial happening, neither was any action taken against any MLA. So I mean, there are two warring factions in Rajasthan that everybody here who has been observing, they know about it. And we have been also seeing these verbal duels.
You feel infighting can impact Congress electorally?
Of course it can. See, back in 2018, when Rajasthan won, we have to really understand that Congress has lost in 2013. It merely could score 21 seats. Congress returned to power because there is this anti-incumbency thing in Rajasthan where people, they want a change of government after every 5 years. So from 2013 to 2018, Sachin Pilot was the PCC chief. He was heading the state unit, and the party could manage 99 seats. So what's happening in Karnataka is, it's 136 seats. So Operation Lotus cannot happen there. But here in Rajasthan, there's kind of insecurity lingering because the margin was very less. They had to seek support of independent MLAs. They had to seek support of BSP MLAs and others, and which Ashok Gehlot could do. But back then, when, how they made things clear in Karnataka right now, bringing two factions together and telling them, but Shiv Kumar is little stronger there. But here, the case was not similar in Rajasthan. They, the High Command may have told them, like, you be the deputy CM and you be the CM. But I think Pilot never made peace with it. I think he always was in hope of something else. Maybe he was promised, because the rumors suggest, the sources suggest that he was promised that later, maybe in the last 2 years, he'll be made CM or something. But he started seeing that, the MLAs are, supporting the chief minister. But he held a couple of posts. He was PCC head, CM, he was cabinet minister. And there was, he was very, the MLAs with and he has the support of only, 18, 20 MLAs back then. But 1820 is also a support. We could see in Madhya Pradesh how Jyotiraditya Scindia just had, 20, 22 MLAs with him, and, a government could be toppled easily. We cannot say that 15 is very less, because we cannot say that he does not impact the, elections or the crowds, because the East in 2018, if you check the statistics, Congress has performed only well in Western and in Eastern Rajasthan. So when we say Western Rajasthan, that is again the Gehlot's charism. And when we say the Eastern Rajasthan, that is majorly Gujar dominated. So we can't, outrule and say that, okay, 15 seats. No, 15 seats could be big thing, 25 seats could be a big thing. So we cannot just say that. So what is needed is, because he was not heard in the party. That is what he keeps suggesting, that he used to write to CM and everybody and say that why you're not taking action against the corruption allegations made against Raji government.
Right. I got your point. Let me just get in Pushpraj on this. That Pushpraj, this complaint of Sachin Pilot off and on that, he hasn't been heard by High Command. So again brings us back to the question that the manner in which the High Command, now of course it is Mallikarjun Kharge and the Gandhi family together, I believe will comprise the High Command. So
Neelu, one point I want to add here, that Congress did make their efforts. They changed three state in charge in Rajasthan, one after another. In 2 years, we have seen 3 in charges here, but none could make any difference. And I think, the time has come that they should resolve it, because otherwise elections are ahead, after 5 months, and it could be a big loss for the party.
Okay, I just need a response from Pushpraj on this, and then I'll go for brief comments to Puneet, Mr. Sahu, and Aurangzeb. Yes, Pushpraj, over to you.
No, so if I were to posture, then I would say that this is 2023 new leadership, so maybe they'll be able to resolve things better. But frankly speaking, as Ms. Anjum said, there have been multiple efforts and overtures over the last 3-4 years. Ultimately, I think they're going to have to get down into a huddle and resolve this. Given the elections is due this year, right? October, November. And this is going to be first on the cards.
November.
The assembly elections. So they will resolve it. They have to resolve it, one way or the other.
Okay. So we are hoping that it will be resolved soon. So Puneet, what do you really have to say at the larger picture now that the heat over the Karnataka elections has almost looks like settled, or rather some new challenges will come the party's way, but probably they will be in a position to resolve. But looking at the larger picture, what do you think is going to be the next step of Congress vis-a-vis Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh, the 3 states which go to polls this year? Yes.
Neelu, well, as far as Karnataka is concerned, as I pointed out, I think we'll have to wait and see how things pan out after the swearing-in ceremony. We're told that the swearing-in ceremony will also have, aside from the CM and the deputy CM, a few ministers being sworn in. So I think that should kind of give us an indication of what is the mix that the Congress is looking at in terms of its, appeasing the various castes and communities, etc., who voted for the Congress, because you have to keep in mind that the Karnataka verdict is, by and large, uniformly in favor of the Congress from across the state. All communities, this is not an election where you've seen the Congress get support of, say, just the Vokaligas or just the Lingayats or just the Ahinda, the backward and the tribals, etc. But it's more homogeneous in terms of the voting pattern. So how it proceeds, let's wait and see, from now on. As far as Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan are concerned, I don't think Chhattisgarh is that much of a problem in terms of the leadership issue. But both Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan more so, there are issues that the Congress needs to resolve in terms of the leadership issues, particularly in Rajasthan with Sachin Pilot and Mr. Ashok Gehlot. But I also want to, make one quick point, Neelu, and I think Pushparaj pointed this out, if I'm not wrong. But there is merit in possibly looking at how the same issue of leadership works within the BJP at the state level. And while the BJP comes across to us as this, behemoth with very strong election management and, invincible party, etc., you need to keep in mind that from 2019 onwards, and also to some extent between 2014 and 2019, and this is a good period, 9 years, where the BJP has perhaps been, not perhaps, but it has been at its peak electorally. But when you look at the states, it has, the Modi magic, whatever we call the Modi magic or Modi mania or whatever, it has been not as successful at the state level in delivering victories, because if you look at the states have not necessarily voted for a BJP government, to bring back a BJP government. They may have come back by toppling governments, by engineering defections, splits in the party like in Maharashtra, etc., and then winning by-elections, which is a different matter, and there are different issues there. But you look at the states that have gone to actual polls, and in the assembly elections, the BJP's performance has not really been something to write home about, barring maybe a Gujarat or a UP. And the reason there is that when it comes to state leaderships and the satraps in the states, the BJP's handling of these satraps has perhaps been worse than the Congress's, because you have, like Indira Gandhi in the 70s, you have a BJP today that is hell-bent on demolishing its state leaders and strong state leaders, particularly those who come from the Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the Advani era. If you look at the Union Cabinet today, you have, barring Mr. Rajnath Singh, you don't have a single minister from the Vajpayee era, even though there are still, people from that era who are fairly active in politics, and their capacity to win elections may be a different matter, but they are stalwarts of the party in their own right. You look at the states. Chhattisgarh, you had a chief minister for 15 years, Mr. Raman Singh, who now we've not seen for 15 years, I think. He's languishing in the party as national vice president with no work to do. You have Ms. Vasundhara Raje from Rajasthan, who's national vice president of the party, but who's virtually, sitting hoping that Mr. Modi will have some mercy, show some mercy to her and bring her back into, the limelight. So this problem with satraps and handling satraps is always there when you have a center that is either that is too weak or insecure, or a center that is too strong and believes in centralizing power even more. So it plays both ways. And for the Congress, there is the only problem is that this plays out in public. Whereas in the BJP, maybe the fear of the leadership is so much that, and we know, I mean, Aurangzeb and I, we talk to these leaders, you talk to these leaders from the BJP, they will complain to you bitterly, behind closed doors, but they will not dare to do that in public. Absolutely. Because they know that whatever little future they have left will also be kind of jeopardized.
No, that is an excellent point you made vis-a-vis BJP. But Aurangzeb, if I may ask you now, in context with Congress party, because we are discussing about the challenges, with the Congress party, which lie in the days to come, would you say that this is a merit or a demerit of the party? With people playing out their emotions in public, the internal differences getting played out in public. In fact, the loyalty to the Gandhi family also gets played out publicly. Let's say, for example, Rahul Gandhi drove to Mallikarjun Kharge's house in context with Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. The next day, you see the Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar visiting Rahul Gandhi. So people also started saying that somewhere down the line, it seems like that Khargeji's authority has also looks undermined. So all these things, and this public display of emotions, of loyalty, would you say that this is a merit or a demerit with Congress?
No, I would say this shows inner party democracy.
Okay.
Why? Because as Puneet said, in BJP, you don't see, situation like that. But we have seen in recent past only, in Himachal Pradesh, it was Prem Kumar Dhumal, who was instrumental in BJP's defeat in Himachal Pradesh. Similarly, Yedurappa, the way he was unceremoniously removed from the chief minister's post.
Hello?
So he has done it in the Karnataka elections. Similarly, in other states too. So what we see here, at least there is an inner party democracy where the leaders have a freedom to express their sentiments or also show their aspirations. There is nothing wrong in being, having aspirations. So that way, there is some kind of a democracy in Congress. It was not there, as I told you before, that when the high command is powerful, so this kind of show we don't see generally. What happened in 2012 in Uttarakhand, when Vijay Bahuguna was imposed on the state, on the legislators. That time, because the high command was powerful, they could manage it. Otherwise, the elections were fought under Harish Rawat's leadership. There are instances. So whenever the high command is powerful, you will see these kind of things where Ashok Gehlot at the last minute will refuse to be the Congress president nominee and hold a parallel CLP, his supporters. So this kind of things you will see. Right. But BJP, as Puneet rightly pointed out, the dissent is not visible. It is there, but it's not visible. Leaders do talk privately about this centralization of power, but no one dares to go public about it.
Absolutely. No, very rightly.
But there are minuses because we saw 2 states in the recent past, they have lost because of the decisions they have taken. And if they don't rehabilitate or if they don't give the command to Vasundhara Raje in Rajasthan, Kabina will agree with me, they will meet the same fate in Rajasthan.
Absolutely. For the last comment now, I'll come to you, Mr. Sahu. Very briefly, what would you really want to say as far as the challenges for Congress are concerned vis-a-vis the regional satraps in various states, especially in the states which are going to polls this year? Very briefly. Mr. Sahu? Yes.
Yeah. So, you see, now I have got some information that the second phase of Bharat Jod Yatra is going to start from west to east.
Okay.
That's what I was told, by some of the Congress leaders. Now, if that actually commences that Bharat Jod Yatra from west to east. And I expect that it would also get the support of people in a much, much bigger way than the first phase of Bharat Jod Yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Now, if that happens, then let me tell you, and I am reasonably confident that that kind of support would be mobilized or people would come forward, given the fact that Bharat Jod Yatra first phase has succeeded enormously, and Congress has now won a big state, a rich state, I mean, in terms of resources, in a big way. So therefore, that combined with, this victory with second phase of Bharat Jodo, the Congress would be in the leadership of the Congress would be a considerable position to navigate.
Okay.
After all, Congress party has always been an umbrella party. My teacher, Professor Joya Hassan, who used to teach us, offer a course on political parties in India, she beautifully described Congress. Yes, Congress was a kind of a single party dominant system that India witnessed. Now we are witnessing a single party majoritarian dominant system. Okay. So, in a majoritarian dominant system, the voices of differences, are normally not tolerated. So therefore, in a single party dominant system, of course, it is not there. So therefore, I feel, this is my perception, and I may be proved wrong, because if the Bharat Jod Yatra commences, then that would hugely boost the image of the top leadership of the Congress, and that will help them to address the, let's say, I would call them the normal differences within a party for power, for office, for position, and so, for leadership, and that is the whole point. Then,
but I'll yes, on your point, but I want to come for the last comment to Pushparaj that when 2024 elections would just be months away, will Rahul Gandhi embark on another Bharat Jodo Yatra on a similar scale of what we saw between September and February last year? Because general elections will just be months away.
I mean, the Raipur plenary resolution certainly said that there would be a second phase of Bharat Jodo Yatra. So I presume there should be. Ultimately, they will decide if it's politically expedient for the party. I think they should be. And see, frankly speaking, when you like Alfonsos, right, Neelu? When you have mangoes, you don't ask किस पेड़ से आया है, कहाँ से आया है, किस खेत से आया है. You ultimately are interested in eating the mango. So your real question is the Congress winning 24? Whether the Bharat Jodo does that or winning state elections does that. Either way, we are interested in the mango. That's all.
Okay. So we'll wait and see how Congress asserts itself and also how High Command asserts itself, because now we will see a much more energized Mallikarjun Kharge after the Karnataka spectacular victory, and whether he will assert, how is the Gandhi family going to assert in resolving all the internal differences which are brewing up in various states of what we have discussed over the last 1 hour. So all eyes, of course, would be on that. But all's well that ends well, the Karnataka story. Siddaramaiah is the chief minister and deputy chief minister is DK Shivakumar. But how does Karnataka story from here on unfold? We'll keep a watch on that. Thank you so much.
Just remember, Congress party feels that Modi has been defeated in Karnataka. It's not just BJP. So
but only one state. No, but nationally, can Modi be defeated?
The point is, once they taste blood in some, southern part, which is now BJP Mukt, southern India.
Neelu, one more quick comment I'd like to make was in 2018, while Congress won Rajasthan, after 4 months, we went for Lok Sabha elections and Congress couldn't win just one seat in Rajasthan. So winning assembly elections is no signal that party can repeat itself in Lok Sabha with heavy mandate. It requires a lot of hard work, where, a lot of energy in the party, which is missing in most of the states right now.
Yes, you rightly pointed out. In fact, Prashant Kishore, I think just yesterday or day before yesterday, had just pointed out a similar thing. So on that note, I'll have to end the program. You're really running short of time. Thank you so much, Pushparaj Deshpande,
Thanks a lot.
Puneet, Mr. Sahu, Aurangzeb,
Thanks.
Tabina, thank you very much. And one appeal
Thank
to the
you.
viewers who are watching this program, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.